On behalf of 250,000 seniors in this area. This award pays tribute to an individual whose incomparable contributions have added so much to the lives of the many generations of our community. Our invocation will be given by Dr. Luther Holcomb, who's a longtime civic leader and a close personal friend of our honoree, John Stemmons.
Just remain seated, please. Oh God, we come to this occasion with joy and gratitude in our hearts, grateful for the one we honor and the city or the village that has become a part of his life. Give us faith to believe in prayer. In this moment of prayer, may we be mindful of thy presence. And now as we enter into the conversations with old friends, may we remember the words of the psalmist, rejoice and be exceedingly glad in thy holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Luther. Incidentally, because we've got so much going on, you may wonder when you're going to eat. And they tell me it's the best thing to do is to eat now. As we're going to introduce the head table, and I've asked them not to stand. You will see on the screens who's being introduced, so you'll recognize names and faces if you've forgotten, as some of us might have. But do go ahead and have your salads and enjoy and listen, and don't applaud till all have been introduced. On my far right is Lyndon Adams, who's a past president of Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas and the founder of the Spirit of Generations Award. Next is Dr. Wright Lassiter, president of El Centro College and interim pastor of St. John's Missionary Baptist Church. Dr. Holcomb, you have already met. Next is Ruth Stemmons, wife of our honoree. And next is John Stemmons, a cousin himself, our honoree. Bill Cooper, a longtime associate of Mr. Stemmons, and one of our presenters today. On my left is Leah Novikov, who's the chair of today's luncheon, who's done a wonderful job. The Honorable Ron Kirk, Mayor of Dallas, is on his way, and we'll introduce him later in case you don't know who he is. Dale Kessler is corporate chairman of the Spirit of Generations Luncheon and partner with Arthur Anderson. John Pinckney, former board member of Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas and executive director of PCA Health Plans, the premier underwriter of our event. And last but certainly not least is Molly Bogan, Executive Director of Senior Citizens. Now join me in thanking all those at the head table. Are you ready? And so we don't lose a minute, I want to introduce again Lydia, who's the chairman of this year's luncheon and former president. And many of you know her as the past president of the Junior League of Dallas and an active trustee with St. Mary's College. Her volunteer work is truly remarkable, and she's an example to us all. Lydia Novikov.
Thank you, Bert. What a privilege and a pleasure it is for me to also welcome you and thank you for being a part of our second annual Spirit of Generations Award Luncheon. Your presence here today is a real tribute to John Stemmons. Your participation also means that older adults are important to you. 35 years ago, some visionary leaders believed that programs and services for older adults were necessary and would become increasingly important. And thus, this agency, Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas, was established. And how perceptive they were. People are living older and longer. In Dallas County alone, more than 213,000 people are 60 or older. By the year 2030, 1 out of every 4 people will be over 65. As people advance in age, so do their needs and care requirements, as well as their contributions and value. The graying of America will both tax and enhance our resources. Every segment of our population, of our society, will be affected. Health and human services will need to be increased and adjusted for the elderly. television, magazines, consumable goods, and marketing will be tailored to the large number of seniors. And while the increased senior population will require more care and expenditures, remember that many seniors will make significant contributions of volunteer time and shared wisdom and experience during their retirement years. Aging is a part of living. When we look at older people today, we see ourselves tomorrow. We have a responsibility to care about the elderly, to care about ourselves. Perhaps this is the time when the golden rule takes on an added meaning. As we age, we realize that we get treated in life the way we have trained others to treat us. It is up to us to now provide productive opportunities and a dignified aging process for our elders, for their contributions will certainly outweigh the costs. And so, towards this goal of ensuring the continuation of the important programs that Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas provides, a very dedicated luncheon committee has been hard at work planning this luncheon. As you all know, the success of a project is a result of the combined efforts of each individual. And I have been very fortunate to work with many outstanding individuals on this luncheon committee. They are listed in your program, and while time will not permit me to name each one, I do want them to know how much they are appreciated, and I am going to ask that they all stand just for a moment so that we may recognize them. Please stand, all the committee members. I would, though, like to take just a moment to recognize our committee chairs, whose leadership and efforts have been exemplary. Cynthia Mitchell headed the table sales, and with her co-chairs, Linda Lynn Adams and Joyce Lacerte, took the time to write and personally invite so many of you to this luncheon. Under the chairmanship of Dale Kessler, the corporate committee has raised civic participation to a new level. Medora White and Linda Lynn Adams hosted this morning's nice reception. And Medora, as the first luncheon chair, you certainly set the standard for this event. Cindy Hudgens and her arrangements committee have made sure that as our guest today, your time with us will be most enjoyable. And Helen Holmes, along with her team of public relations professionals, have generated unprecedented coverage. My heartfelt thanks also go to Molly Bogan and Elizabeth Childress and the entire agency staff who have gone above and beyond to make this day very special. As I mentioned previously, Dale Kessler led our corporate efforts, and as we thought he might, exceeded all expectations. Most of us know Dale Kessler as an Arthur Anderson partner, and I believe that most of us also know of Dale's second profession as a tireless and dedicated community leader. We are very grateful to you, Dale, and hope that both you and Arthur Anderson never regret the time that was needed for doing good. For all the good that you have done for so many, we are very grateful. Dale?
Thank you, Lydia. I think when most of us get involved with an organization, particularly as a volunteer in an organization, we ask the question, why should we be involved? I've had the experience this last year to see a lot of stories of why I should be involved and why the corporate community should be involved in the senior citizens. But there were two particular stories that made it very worthwhile for me. The first involves an individual who has been involved in the Senior Citizens Organization for a number of years as a corporate person. And I asked him, why are you involved in the Senior Citizens Organization? And he asked me if I'd ever heard the expression, be kind to your children, because one day they might be choosing the nursing home you might use. He said, I see the Senior Citizen Organization a little bit in the same light, but in a far more positive way, because they may be the organization that will provide the opportunity for me to be a productive fulfilled senior citizen. It wasn't too many days after that, and I met a retired engineer from Texas Instruments. He'd been with Texas Instruments over 30 years with an expertise in hazardous waste. And he commented just a few years before that the Dallas Fire Department needed some training and some programs dealing with hazardous waste. The Senior Citizens Organization was the linkage between the expertise and the need. The community has a fulfilled, productive senior citizen, and the City of Dallas has its programs on hazardous waste. There was a book written a couple of years ago by Stephen Covey entitled Habits of a Highly Effective Person. And one of the thrusts was, before you plan, know what the result is. And in just a few minutes, you're going to see some programs projected by Molly, and I've had the experience of seeing those programs in place this past year, which makes it very easy for myself and the corporate community to see the results of the Senior Citizens Organization. Another reason why it was so easy to achieve what we achieved this year is John Stemmons, because the corporate community wanted to recognize and support John Stemmons for his leadership and vision over the many years. Congratulations, Uncle John.
Thank you, Dale. An organization is defined by its leadership. The very essence of leadership is having a vision, and it's got to be a vision that is articulated clearly and forcefully on every occasion. You can't blow an uncertain trumpet. Well, Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas has been blessed, for we know that we have one of the best leaders and executive directors in the business in Molly Bogan. Molly has devoted her entire career to championing the needs of older adults. Molly Bogan.
Thank you, Lydia. Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas is probably the most politically correct group in town. After all, if you live long enough, everybody can be part of our group. I think that we probably invented the word inclusive. Of course, some people don't want to belong to our crowd. There's a lot of denial. There's a lot of money spent so that we won't look like we're part of this group. And I know it's a shock, but on occasion, there's out and out lying. Just look around your table today. There's probably at least one person claiming to be a little younger than their birth certificate would indicate. Now, of course, I realize that many of you in our audience today are still only in your 30s and 40s. You're still at the stage where you're just beginning to sound like your parents. It's when you start looking like your parents that we at Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas become interested in you. And I guess in a literal sense, that truly is the spirit of generations. At Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas, we realize that we all age very differently. For some, older age is a time of liberation, a time when new experiences are embraced. But others, unfortunately, are robbed of a good old age because of ill health or isolation or poverty. And that's why at Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas, we have 11 very distinct services, some designed for the vibrant, active retiree, and others designed for the frail, vulnerable elderly. For active retirees, we encourage them to continue giving back to the Dallas community. We coordinate nearly 3,800 volunteers ages 55 to 101. Foster grandparents who work with children affected by AIDS and substance abuse. Volunteers who are docents at our museums and volunteers who work with the homeless and hungry. We coordinate nursing home ombudsman volunteers who go into our nursing homes because 60% of the elderly who live in nursing homes never receive a visitor. At Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas, we also coordinate intergenerational programs where we match the old and the young in our elementary schools. For those 1 in 7 older adults who need to work, we administer a senior employment program where we help the mature worker in their job search. And for older women, we offer a financial clinic because so many older women are left in financial jeopardy because of widowhood. For those elderly who are not in good health, such as Alzheimer's patients, we provide senior companions for them so that they can stay independent in their own homes for as long as possible. And for those incapacitated elderly who our probate courts tell us need guardians, we are currently initiating a volunteer guardianship program. For families with elderly parents, we offer elder support counseling because we know that the average person will spend more time caring for their elderly parents and their elderly in-laws than they did raising their own children. So as you can see, the services at Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas are very diverse because older Dallasites are very diverse. But while our services are varied, there are 3 key operative words in all of our service delivery: respect, dedication, and humor. So, of course, a quote from Alice in Wonderland won't seem unusual here. "You are old, Father William," the young man said, "and your hair has become very white. And yet you incessantly stand on your head. Do you think at your age it is right?" Well, we at Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas say, of course, it's absolutely right. It has been said that a community can be judged by how it treats its young and its old. At Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas, we're working really hard on the second half, and we very much appreciate the support and interest from you all today. Thank you.
Thank you, Molly. Now, please continue to enjoy your meal, and our program will resume shortly. Mayor Kirk has arrived, and as soon as we've had our meal, we will come back to you. Thank you.
Just going to move up. Yes, I think so. Ladies and gentlemen, please continue with your dessert while we introduce a very spectacular and wonderful group to you. We are so pleased to present 6 classically trained singers and musicians who are well known throughout the Southwest. They are well known for their artistry and for their dedication to the preservation of their African American culture and heritage through the medium of music, especially the ethnic folk music of Black America, the spiritual. They're titled the New Arts Sixth, and it is a nonprofit professional performing arts group which strives to reach a broad and diverse section of our community. performing for incarcerated juveniles at residential treatment centers, as well as to senior citizens in nursing homes. The new Art 6 feels a special obligation to work with children to expose them to their culture and their heritage, which is not taught in our schools and churches and homes as much as it had been before. The members with us today are Glenda Cole Clay, Monia Davis Logan, Margaret James, Dorothy Regina Powell, and Gail Washington Tyler. Again, they are classically trained and experienced artists who together create a superb blend of various talents, which has thrilled a variety of audiences. And on this day, which is a wonderful day for all of us, honoring John Stemmons, a man who has long championed better race relations and civil rights, it is my great pleasure to present the new Art 6.
Music. 'Cause music is the only way Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rock my soul. 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 Oh, rock my soul. My God is so high you can't get under him, so low you can't get under him, so wide you can't get round him. You must come in at the door. Rock my soul, rock my soul, rock my soul, rock my soul. Oh, rock my soul, rock my soul, my soul.
What beautiful voices and music. Thank you, New Arts 6. Unquestionably, Dallas is the city it is today thanks to the strong leadership it has enjoyed for generations. Good people have always risen to the occasion and unselfishly given of their time to make Dallas an even better place. It has been said that most people can stay motivated for 2 or 3 months. A few people can stay motivated for 2 or 3 years. But a real leader can stay motivated for as long as it takes to get the job done. Well, we are indeed honored today to have with us 8 men and women whose dedication and involvement certainly place them in the ranks of true leadership. Mayor Ron Kirk and seven former mayors of our city have joined us to make a